what you both said. And I also will also say, as I've funded a couple of these, in small amounts invested in perks, I know as a supporter, I also really appreciate that constant feedback. So that was my takeaway from supporting other projects too.
Yeah, and I use social media a lot as throughout the whole process. And so here I actually wanted to share 2 posts that did very well. And for me, like, some of the numbers were very interesting. I got 50% of pledges to Facebook, 25% to Instagram, and the other 25 would be like email, word of mouth, or whatever. I promoted a lot of the campaign on French expat groups throughout the US, and I spent a lot of time kind of nailing what does a successful Facebook post looks like, because you're kind of fighting with the algorithm. And so I had come down to this formula, which is number 1, use Facebook doesn't do pretty. Like, this is an Instagram, so the goofier the picture, I mean, it's almost bordering on amateur-like, and the more amateur I was doing it, the better results I had. Like, the number 1, so that's literally, so that's when I made it to 138%. I used that, so you can see the feet of my kids hiding behind the cover of the book in my front yard. And you can see the engagement. Like, I wanted you guys to see the numbers, like the reach, the engagement I had. And number 2, I would like, this was at a coffee shop, that's when I made it to 100%. I actually repurposed this old photo from when I made it to 70%, used the sticker to say 100, and I remember asking my friend, I said, I said, I don't want this to look good. That table needs to be a little crooked. Like, people seem to like it when it's like messy on Facebook, and Instagram is a whole other thing. And the thing, like, I would love to stress, like, to all of you in the room, is that if you're here and thinking about crowdfunding, I can only stress how important it is to put your face out there. And I know for some people it's very uncomfortable, but that's the difference between you funding your dream and a corporation launching a new product that has lots of investors or is in the stock market. People connect with you and your dream, and you'll be amazed at like how many people actually are rooting for you and want to see you. Like, I wasn't going to a traditional publisher and, like, if you're making chocolate and you're actually trying to bootstrap your business, it's like, there are so many people who wish they had the courage to do what you're doing. They would want to see, like, you're giving other people permission to dream just as big as you. And put yourself out there. And this is like, on Instagram right now, I cannot tell you the engagement you get from selfies. Like, you cannot use this on Instagram, to be honest. This was well for Facebook. You do like nice selfies, something that, where you actually share like what it's like to be on your campaign. It's just so important. And on Facebook, what I have noticed is that that's like, if you see the size of the text on those captions, everything is like, I had like really optimized it so that it would be the right size for Facebook. Facebook has an algorithm that decreases the reach of your post if it identifies it as promotional. So if on the first line you say, give me money on my crowdfunding campaign, Facebook is gonna like, hell no, you have to pay to boost this post. But I noticed if I put the link to my campaign at the end of my first paragraph and I added another one attached with a photo of me, those posts really brought me money. 2 other things I did is Facebook Live. Anything live, it's like you give another option for people to connect with you, and then you get to share your message. And I was just telling Enna earlier, something that did oddly very well. I find it hard to sell on Instagram, but I see 25% of pledges from that, because when people get me pledged, just to Emily's point, what I did is like, so I wouldn't always reach out personally like that, but I would actually thank people to an Instagram story. Every day I would post a screenshot with my daily updates and a little animated GIF to be partying. And I would say, thank you so and so for this. And there are people that I know gave me money just for like the billboard effect, or like, oh, she mentioned me. Like I had somebody say, you didn't mention me. Like, what did I do wrong? Like your account is set to private. I didn't know. Like, but like that just saying thanks like that. Like it was amazing how people responded to that.
Yeah.
So we're skipping to you raised the money. Congratulations. If you made it that far, usually you're pretty beaten up. You're ready to go home and just go to bed. And it's like, no, that was the easy part. Now you have to deliver. And I feel strongly about the success after the campaign. And I know we share like with, I think Ben Rasmussen from Potomac is amazing as this post. Like I know.
I made whole spreadsheets based on his campaigns.
I mean, I actually told him to make an ebook out of it because like it's almost like it's just so well written. This is my personal pet peeve. Like this happened to me this year, and I'm like unhappy. I pledged to get like sustainable shoes made with like recycled cork sole and like wool, which talk like it's the United by Blue. And like I saw myself wearing those shoes this fall. I live in Pennsylvania, and I thought, great, I'm gonna crunch on like those leaves in the fall, and I could like envision myself. Well, no communication for 2 months, and come to find out they had like massive problems. And after I left a post on Instagram, they came like, oh, well, we've had issues with the mold and whatever. I won't have the shoes until June. And it's like, that's great for the summer to wear wool shoes, like, and it's like, you don't get to collect the money and then walk away. Like, we're investors, even if it's $25, you have to respect that. So me personally, I think you need, until you deliver, every 2 weeks, I would put an update. I don't know for you. An update to the Kickstarter or whatever crowdfunding campaign, and if there are any delays in giving the perks, just say something, just say whatever. It's not, I think most people are forgiving if you spend the time to say, we run into a problem, and but don't disappear, because that's not cool. I mean, that's like, for me, it's like, I found out I had like Italian DNA, and I'm like, it really comes across. Well, like, you're really late. It's like, don't mess with me. You're not gonna see a penny from me ever again, So that's where I really am coming from. So, anyway. So, anything you'd like to add on those topics?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely did a lot of updating. I think we ended up sending around 15 updates from starting about maybe after the first week of the campaign through about a couple months afterwards. And we had a bunch of fulfillment to do. I ended up doing it with my family over Thanksgiving. So again, on the timing side, trying to find ways where if we had 301 boxes to pack of cocoa beans. We had sacks of cocoa beans inside, my family's house, and we were breaking them into 1 pound bags and distributing them up. And so it was just, I think, making sure that you have a fulfillment plan that you can actually accomplish so that you don't have to spread things out over a really long time. And then, communicating really frequently. And if things are going to be late, just letting people know right away and continuing to give them updates really helps avoid that rage and keeps them loyal to you. Because at the end of the day, really what you're trying to do is not just build loyalty in a customer for that one thing, but actually for your business on an ongoing basis. So the way that you treat people during and after the campaign really will make a difference for you in terms of the sort of audience and community you're building for your brand.
Yeah, I'll add that I sent a lot of updates, almost daily, between emails and social media updates, and I found that it felt like overkill to me, but a lot of people kept me informed. Again, my biggest 100 top supporters would communicate with me constantly, and they would say, when are you going to send another email? And I realized depending on what's going on in people's lives, or the algorithms from Facebook and other social media, they don't see half of what you're posting. Even, emails have a little bit better success rate, but even those are overlooked. So that frequent communication helps compensate for that. And also, I set really late deadlines for myself to deliver perks. Like, I knew I could probably get it done by Christmas, but I said, February is when you're gonna get them. And then when I sold out of what I knew I could accomplish, I set another perk of July delivery chocolate, which is kind of a crazy month. I ended up delivering most of it by Christmas, so that meant that, what do we call it? Under promise, over deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then essentially, then after that, I have a list of all these cool resources. Yeah, that's what time it is. But yeah, these are like, I mean, for chocolate makers, I definitely recommend checking out Totomak's Kickstarter. I mean, he reads like a novel. I mean, he's really a good writer.
He's authentic.
He's authentic, and he wants you to be like, I think it's very educational also, like all the, and like going back to the communication, he has a list of problems that make me empathize with him so much. And it's like, you know, I can give you your perk, but just take your time, fix your problems with this machine that was like wired wrong or whatever he had. Like, it was, no, I mean, it's, yeah, very, very authentic. And again, like the Indiegogo, like toolkit to get, oh my gosh, yeah. And like that Google calculator is like available to everybody. What else? Yeah, the Kickstarter creator handbook is not that great, in my opinion. Like it's very superficial. And but one thing I also recommend is that if you ever think of, I mean, if you're here, you probably have some goals of, you know, doing a campaign, but it's very helpful to actually contribute to a bunch of campaigns, you know, random and also random, and see what does it feel like to be at the receiving end, so that you get to see, well, when I do it, I wouldn't do X like this, and I would do Y like that. And it's very important to know what it's like to be the giver, so that you can respect them when it's your turn to give, right? So, yeah. Any questions? Yes?
So none of you did any advertising to bring new people in? So it was all sort of organic
For me,
your
yes.
existing networks?
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, we did earned media, so we didn't do any paid PR, but we definitely, we sent out press releases, called reporters.
I did that too, but I think their story was kind of picked up. Mine wasn't picked up by Huffington Post.
I had my, to be fair, the blogger was a friend. It wasn't just the merits of our campaign. So, you know, like, leverage your network. She was someone I went to college with, and I realized she was at Huffington Post, and I just reached out and said, you know, would you be willing to get this in there? And then that helped get other outlets to pick it up.
If you live in a small town like me also, like, don't underlook your local newspaper. And, you know, like, they're always looking for, if you don't have like some kind of drama, like if it's a slow news day, they might publicize your, you know, local person raises $300. Like, yeah, you had a question?
Yeah, I walked in a little bit late, so I apologize if you went through this already, but could you guys talk a little bit more about the actual crowdfunding page and how you formatted that?
I went to the iTunes store.
I'm just listening.
I didn't find a second computer.
It's like first.
Thanks. Like, did you guys do videos or pictures?
I did a video. I actually got support from, in my community, it's called the Regional Economic Development Center, which is a local business service that receives funds from the state as well as SBA funding. And someone on their staff is like, I'm an artist, don't make your video. I'm really picky because I'm a photographer too. And I was kind of unhappy with the video. Like, I don't look good, it's not very polished. But then other people said, you know, it is what it is. You're a small business, a startup, and that's what it looks like. You look like a bootstrap startup, and you look like you're passionate about what you're doing, so it's perfect. And it did work. So I was shy about that, but the video was super helpful. People love pictures. I think we all know that from our experience in the world. So any pictures, and then really specific, concrete messaging about this is what I'm doing, this is why I'm doing it, this is what I'm going to do with the money, had a very concrete plan that people look for.
Totally. Yeah, I would agree with that entirely. I think the video makes a big difference, and we were told that from the beginning. So I think without a video, it's really, really hard to get people inspired, because really they're investing in you, and your idea. And the other thing is Kickstarter requires you to disclose any risks. So I think being really upfront around what the risks could be, again, just getting to the communication aspect and authenticity, like people appreciate the transparency, and it makes any surprises down the road just easier to communicate about.
Yeah, I also did a video, and I used this very iPhone I used, and I had I invested in a $25 lapel microphone, and it was me going to the grocery store, and we use all the different settings to make me go fast, super fast in the eyes, and thanks to my book, which flower to buy, whatever. And a friend of mine was like, I begged her, I said, I need a video, hold the camera, I have the vision, we need to do it. And if you have iMovie on an iPhone or an iPad, I mean, it took me an hour to just put it, you just go like this, and I mean, it looks like so fancy, but all you do is this. And I used a online software called Canva.com, for you probably familiar, and I did the cover, and with that, and I use the stock music, and it's really well done, because it's when I'm not talking, the music is louder, and I mean, with that, it's just so easy. If you have a good sound, that microphone was great. I also, to the same point, is that I said exactly what I was going to use the money for, make sure that people understand there is a fee for the platform. I think Kickstarter and Indiegogo have a 5% fee. Make sure you account for that. And I said, I'm going to use this for the book, for the publishing of the book, and so much goes to my graphic designer, and so much goes for having the tote bags printed and things like that. A thing we haven't touched on is that something that helps create excitement throughout is that having a stretch goal. So I raised my 100% goal in 17 days, and I picked a 30-day. You can take up to 60 days. 30 days I think is good. 60 days you're gonna be, I think, exhausted. And after 70 days, I'm like, okay, I make it to 4,000. You're gonna get 10 recipes or whatever. And this is that was a great idea for me, because that's actually gonna be my next book. It grew into from 10 recipes, it grows to now we're 30, and I'm actually working on that. But yeah, having a stretch goal, it helps continue building excitement for that. Yeah, and you can, I think, yes, I mean, I send, if you want, if you give me your email, I will send you the links to all of these pages, so you can see how it's been set up.
Just a quick thing, on the stretch goal as well, we found that was super helpful, especially because with Kickstarter, it's again an all or nothing thing, so you kind of want to set your goal lower anyways, but you want to make your backers feel really excited about the fact that you hit your goal. So we set ours at 40,000, and we were like, man, that's we knew we needed 75,000, but we were like, well, if we don't raise 40,000, we definitely can't do this. We ended up raising the 40,000 within the first week. And we did that through providing extra perks for the first 48 hours, and adding additional extra perks for the next 48 hours, once we sort of hit these different milestones. So it just really built this momentum. And we ended up raising over $86,000 out of that. So more than doubled that. And I think people felt super excited to be a part of such a successful campaign.
I did not have a good plan for stretch goals. I met my funding goal. I was able to actually oversell that by a couple $1,000s, because in my fulfillment communication at the end, verifying addresses, all of that, I actually offered people the option to add on some of my swag. So that boosted my total funds by a couple $1,000s. But because I went into it trying to raise money for one machine, when I was so close to reaching my goal after just a week, things kind of fell off for a few weeks, which is really normal for a fundraising campaign. And then in the last week, there's excitement as you start to reach your final goal. After that first week, I thought, oh my gosh, maybe I'll double my fundraising, but I didn't. I met my goal. If I had a plan for, I had plans was to use the money. I was building out a factory, but if I had, I don't know what I could have done, except, 2 machines. But no, people didn't want to support 2 machines. And I was like, what, you're changing your plan on us? So I didn't have a good way to communicate that, or, yeah.
I'd like to know how many here are planning to raise money soon, or if you're just curious, or, okay.
Nice.
What? Yeah.
Do it.
So what do you think is holding you back, you feel like, or like what makes you, are you concerned, like do you have worries, or like, did we convince you to do it?
So I think 2 things is, it's a lot of work. And I think when you look at successful campaigns, you know it's gonna be a lot of work, and so it's that work on top of everything else that's going on. And so that's a bit of a challenge, I think. Finding the right, planning things out, whether it's a year or 2 is good. Having those videos and some of those creative pieces that create time, I think is really important to kind of have that done and know when you're gonna plot those in. So that's one, I think is kind of big for us. Another one is that we kind of like to be behind the scenes, and I know that a lot of these it's really about like that personality and that person. And so that's something that like right now for us and our brand is not very personalized, which I know we know is sort of a weakness, but it's also sort of our own personality, like the individual's our personality. So it's like actually like sitting in front of a camera and telling that story, I think is a little bit scary for us. So that's probably 2 big.
I'm an introvert too, but the thing is, that resonates with people. Other people feel the exact same way, and that you just have to say, okay, this is how people know I'm a real person.
And for me, one of the most beautiful surprises was that I was one of the first French food bloggers, and I didn't really appreciate what my audience looked like, because most of people, like whether it's your customers, readers, they don't send you emails to say how amazing, like not everybody will say how amazing your company, your product is. You will have only a small percentage, but I had not asked for any money or anything for a decade. It was never my job. It was really like something for me. That's really how I became a writer. And what was beautiful to me is like receiving pledges from Sri Lanka, because I had like so many of my French followers have been expats, and they go like, and you sending this book to Sri Lanka. I mean, it's just like, wow, like, and these people say, you know what, I've received messages like that. It says, I followed you for so long. I feel so good being able to say thank you to you and give you $10, $15 or more. And it's just like, it gives people permission to get out of the woods. And like, it's amazing how much people are rooting for you. And without like this project like this, you don't appreciate, but it's like, I mean, that Sri Lanka, for whatever reason, really stood out to me. I'm like, it's just like, it's incredible. And like, even I was telling Enna earlier, what was amazing is like when I was getting started with the campaign, a woman just came out of the woods and said, hey, my name is Josephine, and I've followed your blog for X years, and I'm a freelancer. I help companies raise money through crowdfunding, and these are the 2 things I think you should do right now. And she encouraged me of posting daily updates on Instagram stories and doing Facebook Lives. And that actually became such a, that made such a difference. And it's like, I didn't know she existed for, like up at like 4 years. And like people, it's amazing how, I mean, get like warm and fuzzy, but I think we don't always see how good people can be unless we need them, out there. And I think even like, we think of it as like our project and this is money for our dream, but when people give you money, they are buying part of your dream. Like, it becomes a way for them to be part of your story and your dream, and you're actually giving them a gift like that, like they wouldn't give you money if they didn't feel like it, and it was interesting, like some people gave me money, like $100, no reward. It was like people, like corporate people who like just were like, wish they had the guts of doing stuff like I did, you know, like, and those are the people who give you like all the cash and say, no, I want nothing, just do it. Like, you know, it's like, thank you, you know.
Yeah, someone actually bought the naming rights for my machine for $1,500.
Wow.
That was my biggest perk. But I was also shocked at some of the contributions that came in from a number of people who were not part of my network. They were just part of the larger Indiegogo network. Money from Croatia, money from other countries, just no perks, just money. It was amazing. I'll share one more thing, because I was so inspired and excited to make swag. I really like swag. I put a lot of effort into designing cool t-shirts. I had an artist friend make this design. I had hoodies, I had mugs. Nobody wanted that, they wanted chocolate. So it was kind of, it was affirming to me to realize, oh, well, I'm not here to make t-shirts, I'm here to make chocolate, so duh. So that was a good revelation for me.
Yeah, we have 5 more minutes.
I had a comment that I thought of earlier, which was in terms of blocks to doing this. It sounds like your social media followings were very influential in your campaigns, and I just started my website like 3 weeks ago, and so my following is very, very small. So if you could share a little bit about how you built your followings ahead of your campaign, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so I think, for us, it was really just a natural part of growing the business, but also we started a newsletter list really early, and just anyone that we ran into, we kind of added them. This is before the Data Protection Act, so I don't think that's legal anymore, but there was no we didn't have to go through that, so we just added everyone in, and then sometimes people would unsubscribe themselves, but that was how we built a lot of our list. So I would just make sure you've got like a newsletter sign up page on your website, that you point people to it, you post on it, like in every social media post, say, sign up for our newsletter to learn more. Because while Instagram and Facebook continue to be like great social media tools, newsletters are, in the minds of some people, like still the most important form of community. And it's a tool that really people read, they pay attention to the newsletters that they like, they really do sort of follow. So I would highly recommend just making sure you're always pointing people to sign up for a newsletter.
I think you probably do have that core network of people, and that's where I started and concentrated back to my group of 100. I sent them an email from day one of my plans. Dear mom and dad, dear grandma, dear cousin, I'm doing this, and here's why. It's all the same bullet points that we would have found on my launch page, but well in advance of me even publishing that. I need to raise money. This is my goal. I need help growing my email list. If you can share my email list with other people who you think will be excited about watching my business grow, that would be an amazing way to support me. I did that for a month, constantly. And I talked to people when I saw people in person. I was like, you give. Emily, I loved sharing my chocolate with you as I'm learning how to make it. I know it was really bad, but it was so fun. And I know you shared it with 5 people. Could you just have them sign up for my email list? And it's a small start, but it actually grows.
And I don't know if you sell the chocolate. I assume you make chocolate. So if you sell chocolate at farmers market or any physical location, festivals, have a notebook with sign up to my newsletter. And what I do, so now that I have a chocolate business, I'm a chocolate sommelier, and every once in a while I do pop-up events like at the farmers market and everything. And I always have the notebook, and I say, do you want to keep up with my upcoming events, my tastings? And something that has worked really well for me also is I am part of I have a chocolate education table at a local baking festival, which is a fundraiser for the United Way, the regional chapter. And so I do not sell anything. I only have the mailing list, and so I talk about, this is how chocolate is made, where it's coming from. And what I do is say, if you put your name on this mailing list, I would, you'll be part of the giveaway, and I will give you a free chocolate bar. And that has been, I like, that has been so good to me, because what I do is like, there are people from my community that I'm gonna see again. So the one lady especially like has won the chocolate bar, and then we meet at a coffee shop or something, we get to chat. These people turn into my biggest supporters. They're the ones spending money again and again and again, and do the wine tasting and the beer tasting and then the coffee tasting, like they do whatever tasting and bring their friends from, you know, that Facebook group and whatever. And like, that's another way you can get people excited. It's like, hey, I give after this farmer's market, I will give a free chocolate. And then, you know, that will be an incentive for them to sign up to that newsletter. And you don't need a big newsletter. You know, I don't know if you were here when you saw the calculator, let's see. That's, did you see that earlier? Yes, so that's how you can calculate, but like, even like right now for 37 chocolates, I think I just checked my number, I have like 400 and change, and you know, it's enough, like it's enough, it's not, it might sound small, but you know, it works. And you don't know who that one person is gonna be, so. Go get money.